Yeah, my name is Timitope Fadari, and I'll be talking about my project, which is automated face identification system, and my supervisor is Dr. Diana. This study basically actually proposes a facial recognition system for using assessing an exam portal. And well, I actually thought about a seamless way where a user can actually get to do exams without the need of examiner being involved, or a lecturer, or anyone who actually conducts or internal examiner who conduct exam or test being involved in this situation. And coupled with the fact that with the pandemic going on, this actually inspired this project. And in order to actually make this work, the user basically wouldn't need any other thing except for just the user's face, which is going to act as the password and the username for the user to be able to get access to this examination portal. Well, in this concept, the only identity that the user will actually need for accessing this exam portal is just the user's face, and this will actually grant the user access to the exam portal, so as to actually ensure that it is actually the user that is actually accessing this exam portal and not someone else. And one of the interesting or the main benefits rather of this approach is that the examiner basically will actually be convinced that it is actually the user that is actually, or it is the correct student that is actually using this this system, and it's not someone else that is actually accessing this system. So moving on to the introduction aspect of this project. So how does this system work? The main aim basically is to actually develop a concept where a user can actually get access. So the very first thing that the user need is actually the image of the user. The image of the user is actually needed, and it has to be a clear picture of such user. It has to be a clear picture that has no glasses, no hat, no obstruction whatsoever in the picture, and it has to be of a good lighting, with the user sitting and looking straight into the camera, just to be able to take a bright and clear picture, just for the system to be able to have a good geometry of this particular user. And the user basically would be able to feed the system with this picture, and the system basically tends to, like, put it tends to have this picture in the database, which will actually be used for access when next the user wants to actually have access to this platform. So I'll be demonstrating that later on in the course of this presentation. So basically, this picture of the user will actually go straight into the database, and this actually acts as the signature of the user when next the user wants to, like, actually have access to this system. The system basically actually takes the picture of the user in seconds, and it actually compares this user's picture to what is in the database, just to be able to identify the user and actually have a match. And the comparison basically is actually made just for a response to arrive, which will actually come in as a perfect match, or or a failed response, which will actually come in like, oh, a user wasn't found. So this basically is just what this whole concept is all about: being able to identify, being able to detect a user's face, being able to extract the user's face, checking out the geometry, such as the user's face, the nose, the mouth, and being able to compare the user's face and recognize that, oh, this user is actually in this database, and the system can actually recognize such user. So now the question now is, how does this system work practically? How does the system works? So this right here is the web app that will actually be exhibiting, just to showcase how the system works. And looking at it, this basically is actually the sign up form. This sign up form is actually what the user would need if it's a new user who is actually new to the system and doesn't really have his or her picture saved in the database already. So the user has to go through the process of signing up, putting his or her name in the name box, and user's email address. Then in this case, based on the fact that we actually need a very clear picture of the user, we might need more than one, but one picture is actually enough in this concept, because the algorithm basically works really well to be able to process a very good picture of any user whatsoever. And right here we have the terms and condition. This terms and condition basically actually talks about the agreement between the user that is planning to use the system and the admin or whoever that is controlling this platform. Well, this basically is just to be able to give the user the basic rights, and being able to get the user involved about the whole system and what he or she is about to get into. So this user needs to know how their information are actually being processed. And the whole write-up here actually gives a clear write-up about what the system is actually processing, why they're actually processing the information, and who else has this data to be actually, and where this information actually passed to. So it gives the user the glimpse idea that, oh, the information is actually confidential, and it's not shared to any third party whatsoever. So this agreement basically actually gives more further information about how confidential the user's information is, and also the user actually has the rights to under the GDPR rule and regulation, that he or she actually have the right to withdraw from using the system. So the admin basically actually gives the full respect and the rights to any user whatsoever to withdraw from taking part in this task. And it's actually more or less like an agreement between the user and the owner of the system. So moving on, so this basically is actually the web page, and this right here is actually the camera, the webcam that actually takes the picture of the user. And right here is actually the click to snap button. So the user tends to click on this, and it scans the user's face, and it takes the user right straight into the exam portal. I'll be doing a full demonstration of this right after the whole right after this presentation. And right here is actually what the system would look like when the user gets to log in with his or her face. It brings out the list of examination that is actually available, which can actually be more than 2, but this right here is actually the link, and it's this more or less like just a demonstration of what it looks like. And this right here is just a one-time attempt. Is another basic feature and interesting feature in this web app. Once the user clicks on this, he or she won't be able to do this exam again. So that means it's just a one-time attempt for such users. So let's just imagine if the user clicks on this right now, it takes the user straight into the exam portal. So this right here is another window. It's showing green right now because it's trying to scan if it can actually see a user or not. But if it doesn't see any user, or if it's a different user from the actual user which the system brings, it logs out in seconds. And I'll also be demonstrating this in my further demonstration, the whole full system demonstration. So this is just like a prototype of what it looks like when in a real-time scenario. So it will log out in seconds right now if it doesn't see anyone. So this basically is actually, so yes, right now it has locked me out because it couldn't identify the user. Neither can it identify if the user is actually the real user or not. So these are just one of the interesting feature in this system. So right here, when I refresh this right now, okay, so that's because it's actually locked me out, so I can't really have access to the system anymore. So that's another interesting feature about this. So basically this is just what the Face ID exam is just all about, and it's a very interesting feature. And the next part would be a live scenario of a user coming in real life to actually have access to the system. So that's it. Thank you. All right, here's the Face web application, and I have the user ready to test the system. And this user is just going to trying to get access. All it needs to do is to just look straight into the camera, and you'll be able to get access. But based on the fact that he has been registered already, he won't have to go through the process of this sign up by putting his name, his email, or putting a picture. So all he has to do right now is to just look straight into the camera and click on this click to snap, and the system gets to recognize him. So you can go ahead and do that. Basically the system gets to recognize the user, and it brings out the user's name, which is Sheldon, and it shows the Face ID confidence, which is 100%. The Face ID confidence basically talks about how accurate it is that is recognizing the system. And it's also showing the request time. This basically actually is in seconds, which is 0.4699 seconds, just to show the accuracy and the speed level of the web app. So basically the user has options to click on any available exam, and the concept of this is to just to aid integrity. And based on the fact that the COVID thing is actually out there, this web application can actually work in a school system, or in an institute that wants to start using remote exam or remote way of doing examination and test, or whatever way of testing on students. So this user right now is going to pick any of these two, and once he clicks on this, it takes the user straight to the portal. This portal basically is just the exam portal. It has a bunch of questions. It can actually be in any form, but this is just to test the system. But he's gonna go ahead and click on the bunch of questions and give his own answers to it. And the window right here on the lower part is just trying to monitor the user while the user is taking the exam. This basically is needed just to be able to aid integrity, and just to be sure that no one else is actually doing the exam for the user. But we're gonna go back to this after the user gets done with picking the options. So you can just roll fast on that, so I can go ahead on. So the user now would take his time to pick on the options, and we can actually just see this more or less like a live scenario where an individual is actually taking exams. So he has the option to click on this, and This added value is just going to show the confidence level, and right now it's showing the confidence level at 100% of the user, which is actually trusting that yes, Sheldon is truly taking the exam. So after the submission, the answers and the question go straight to the admin's email address, which can actually be the lecturer or whoever that is actually having access to this portal or this application. So after he clicks on the submit, I will go straight to the email address to see the. So now it says exam 1 has been completed. So I'll go straight to the email address, and right here is just more or less like a test to see that, okay, if this was to be a live scenario of a lecturer handling this, he will be able to get the answers of Sheldon. So it says new exam submission from Sheldon. So right here you have the options of the answers of what Sheldon chose. And going back to the exam portal, let's just imagine if Sheldon wants to take this second exam right now, and if the system doesn't get to recognize Sheldon, or if let's say someone else is trying to, like, take the exam for Sheldon, it brings out this user, it prompts out this saying user was not recognized or no user, and with this it tends to like disconnect the user from using this system. So I actually blocked this just to be able to test the system, and for you to see that it gets to log out Sheldon in a matter of seconds. And this basically is just going to aid it's just going to aid integrity, it's just going to aid yes, right here. So it's locked out Sheldon in less than 15 seconds. So this added value, added feature is actually very good in this kind of concept. So what we're trying to achieve here is just security. We're trying to achieve security. We're trying to achieve accuracy and the speed. So that's just the user testing of this application. Yeah, thank you.